Barbie Rockers, welcome back to Barbie Rocks. So today I just wanted to show you a few of my personal collection of Nancy Ann dolls. Okay, so I'm so excited to show you these dolls and made a few notes, so let's get started. If you want to collect Nancy Ann dolls, they are gorgeous vintage dolls that you can add to your collection. So how I got hooked onto these little beauties was that I was at a doll show. I had no clue to who these dolls were, but they were just so adorable, and she was the first one that I saw. This one is a number 171 Daffy Down Dilly. It sold for $16, and why I loved her was because she had a tag that won an award, and I was ecstatic to own her. Oh my goodness, and there it is of when it says in the garden with Nancy Ann Daffy Down Dilly. And in July 23rd, 1999, I think she won an award. And that was my first introduction to this beautiful doll. So I'm going to try and give you a little bit of background history of what are Nancy Ann dolls. So Nancy Ann dolls were designed by a lady named Nancy Ann Abbott, A-B-B-O-T-T. And she started her company with $125. And she started her company from anywhere from 1936 all the way to 1971. So I think it changed hands, but these were fragile ceramic bisque dolls. She designed 125 characters, and she was famous for, I think they were baby dolls, and also the line called storybook dolls. So these ones are very fragile, these dolls, and if dropped, they will break. But these dolls here, you see how she designed, they were made from a material of bisque. All of these dolls were hand painted. So because they were hand painted, it gave them their own personality and the artistry. Every doll was different. So you can do a study of Nancy Ann dolls, and just the way that they were painted gave you a different look. So in the 1930s and 1950s, they were made in San Francisco. And then I read that somewhere the very early dolls were made in Japan. I think there was a line called Hushabye Baby Dolls. Those ones were made in Japan. I'm going to take a look. But if you can rescue them for, a few dollars, like $12, they're a wonderful doll to collect. And what makes them so wonderful is all the beautiful, gorgeous fabric that was used to design these dolls. So all these dolls were of good qualities. The materials were just amazing. These dolls here, with the materials, they were so quality. Everything was like hemmed. Everything was like double lined. A lot of the dolls came with pantaloons. So these dolls again were from 1936 to about 1971. I read that in the 1950s, the dolls reached a production of 12,000 dolls per day. So again, these are bisque dolls. They're artist painted. Each face and each stroke and eye and eyelashes were all painted by artists, and the facial features of each doll made them their own. So look how adorable these dolls are. So it is, what makes them so special are the costumes. The costumes and the material. Look how adorable they are. They're made of bisque. They can break. The hair is made of soft, beautiful mohair, so soft to the touch. They had beautiful gowns glued on. The earlier dolls have safety pins. So if you see a safety pin, that'll date your doll to an earlier doll. from, 1930s to 40s. And the shoes were all painted on. So let me show you. Let me just do close up on these. So I wanted to show you how the artistry of the dolls and the doll faces were painted on. The strokes of the eyelashes. And look at the gorgeous, gorgeous material and the gowns. They were all double lined. The dolls, this is the bisque legs. These earlier dolls are called frozen legs. They didn't move. The shoes, these are the shoes. They were always painted on. So if I were to look at this collection here, it's just a small collection. But if I were to look at this collection, try and date the earlier dolls, what you would do is you would turn them around. This one is missing its legs. I'm not sure what happened, but I found this note with this doll, and it said something about a happy trip, and it says July 1948. So to me, that's a clue that this doll is a 1948 doll. And I like collecting the earlier Nancy Ann dolls, because then you can kind of date the early dolls and what they looked like, and see how that's got a safety pin. So that tells me it is an early doll. On the back of below their neck, you'll see a stamp in the doll, and it usually says Storybook Doll, and it says USA. And these earlier dolls, unfortunately, you can see that the glue kind of browned and dried up as the doll aged. So that's another early sign of an early doll. You have to be so gentle with these because they're so beautiful and fragile. So this one here is an Alice, Sweet Alice. And you can collect the dolls, and they have these tags that help you identify who the doll was. And all the dolls came with numbers. Like this is a 122, and it's an Alice, Sweet Alice. And so they had 125 characters, and there was a line of dolls called Storybook Dolls, and those dolls were named after nursery rhymes and jingles. So when you take a look at this doll here, if you turn her around, this one was just tied on. So, but this one here, this one won an award, and she is a beauty. And look at her, she was gorgeous. And that's at number 171, Daffy Down Dilly. And if I turn her around, you can see it's an earlier doll, because there you go, the telltale sign, which is a safety pin. A lot of the dolls came with this beautiful soft mohair, and along with the mohair, the dolls always, on these Nancy Ann dolls, you'll see them come with beautiful headpieces, made of felt or flowers, and that gave it away that this is a Nancy Ann Abbott doll. And they are just a gorgeous and a delight to collect. So let me do close up on my collection here. I just think they are so sweet. This is Pretty Made. And look at the size difference. Some of them were smaller, and then some of them were larger. This one is an earlier Nancy Ann doll, because this one. So this one here is an earlier doll. You can tell because it's got sleep eyes. So this one, I would date it to about the 1950s, but they're still adorable, aren't they? She's got not a real, it's a very, like a piercing look with these dolls. They didn't make them as pretty as the earlier dolls, but you can tell that these dolls are the more 1950s. The hand-painted ones, and the hand-painted ones are the earlier dolls, and you can do a complete study on the facial features, the painting, the hair, and even the molds of the hand. This one has a little nick on it, but just the way that the hands were made, you can do a study on that. And look at the painted shoes. They were just painted on. See how narrow that one is? Okay, let's find another painted shoe. See, here's another painted foot. And a lot of these dolls costumes came with pantaloons. Just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous dolls. And here's another earlier one. And she's got that, look at the way the lips were painted. It's like, ooh, it's so adorable. And the eyes, the eye paint. So every doll, you know, it's like an artist at work. Every doll was painted differently. And I love the pupils of the eye and the way they painted the blue on the bottom. And here's a bigger one. Like, so no two dolls are the same. The artistry was so different. Look at the lips on that. So, these are just so cute and adorable. Here is another one. Look at the painting on that. And you can see the seepage of the glue over the years here. And these are the hands. And this is how the hands were made. They're really adorable. Let me show you this one. So, telltale sign of beautiful Nancy and Abbott dolls are the headpieces. They had pretty little ribbons, or they were adorned with beautiful hats. This is just a few from my collection. I'm sure there are a lot of collectors out there with beautiful, beautiful collections. They're adorable just to hold in your hand. They've got a bit of a weight to them, and they're so, so lovable. That's what I love about them. I just think they are the cutest thing. With look at this one here. Look at the artistry of the paint, and look at her rosy cheeks. Look at that gorgeous fabric and the ribbon. So if you're a collector of dolls, here is a one for you. Oh, and let me mention the stand. So these are the stands, and this is how you would stand them. It's made with a little bit of wiring, and they were the most adorable heart stands. They were made out of plastic, and they helped the doll stand just perfect. See that? Okay, and here is another one. See again, the beautiful headpieces made of so much different qualities of ribbons. And here is another painted one. And when I display them, I can tell and see all the different nuances in the color of the mohair. So look at the difference. You had dark brunette, dark brown, dark chocolate. You've got a lighter brown. You've got blonde. You've got a really gorgeous blonde mohair. But can you see all the difference in the different mohair? So I love these little beauties. I just love them so much. And when I can, I like to add one or two to my collection. I just love the way each doll has its own sweet, sweet personality. Did I show you this one? This is an American Girl colonial dame, and she's in like a colonial dame outfit. And you look for the tags that are still on because they make it more highly collectible. And here is her headpiece again. Pretty ribbons and pretty hair pieces. So isn't that, I mean, the workmanship, craftsmanship to these are amazing. And again, with the fabric, everything is stitched. Look how gorgeous they are. And so these are the stands. This is the stand, and how they would stand is you would put the feet facing forward, and you would just slip the doll underneath the stand, and they would stand forward like that. And when you're collecting these dolls, they came in pretty fun boxes, and that's another telltale sign. That's a Nancy Ann doll with pretty polka dot boxes. So they came in really a lot of different colors. So here is a red box. There is a light pink box. Some more red boxes. But you see how cute and fun they are? So look for Nancy Ann dolls, and if you want to add that to your collection, great little boxes. Along with the Nancy Ann dolls, you can, they came with these catalogs that really help you identify them. So Storybook Dolls by Nancy Ann, and it says We Dolls for Recollectors. And in these catalogs, when you open them up, it goes through the collection series, and if you want to collect them, for example, here is the fairy tale series. They were given a style number and then a title of the fairy tale series description, like He Loves Me and He Loves Me Not. There was a bridal series, season series, there was a Mother Goose series. So all dolls were 3.5 to 7 inches high, and they were individually packed in beautiful polka dot gift boxes, which is right here. And then again, there were the storybook dolls. There's the nursery rhymes. There was an undress series, and there was Dolls of the Day series. Powder and crinoline series. Oh, those must be beautiful. So take a screenshot of this if you want to collect the dolls. I'll hold it still. Take a screenshot, and then happy collecting. And then in this brochure, so on the back of it, it says Storybook Cabinet, fitted for sliding glass front. So they sold a cabinet for your storybook dolls. San Francisco, California. And then I wanted to show you this. This is another catalog, and there is Nancy Ann Abbott starting her company with $125 in her pocket. And this is another catalog. They've got the American series, a bridal series, season series. Here's the storybook series right there. Little Betty Blue, Little Miss Sweet. There is the storybook series continued. And then it says here, Dolls of the Day series, Dolls of the Month series, and In Powder Crinoline series again. So I think that was the same as this catalog right here. So yeah, same thing. In Powdered Crinoline series. So these ones are pretty much the same. Yeah, so this says the Fairy Tale series, and then this catalog here is the American Girl series. So let me hold that steady so you can do a screenshot for yourself. And happy collecting to you all. So what else did I want to say about Nancy Ann dolls? So again, these were during the early war years, potteries were made of bisque, and they made cups, platters, and dishes along with these dolls. And they were made for the Navy hospitals. So the soldiers, even though they were in during the war, they can buy these little dolls, these soldiers, and they can send them back home to their loved ones. So that was a treat for these soldiers during the war. I just wanted to show you some of the ones that I have found. Now this one here, I'm not sure if it is I think it's a Nancy Ann doll. See how it opens? Not quite sure, but I think it is, because look at the quality. Yeah, but this is a larger size doll. So you see, Nancy Ann came in different sizes. This one's much larger and taller, but isn't that a beauty? And again, I think the later ones became plastic. And they were later made in Hong Kong. Okay, so in 1967, dolls were made in Hong Kong, and they were plastic, and they were presented at the toy fair. So maybe this one here is a later doll from Hong Kong. But they're really beautiful. And then in 1998, I read that there was a Mr. Borla who planned to reintroduce these dolls 52 new costumes, and he limited to 7,500 dolls per costume. And 2 of those dolls sold for $60, and it came in a red leatherette bound box. And then after that, after 1998, I think years later, the company was sold and they stopped production. But a little background, history and knowledge on these dolls as I am filming. So again, the 30s and 40s, the 1930s and 40s were made of bisque material like this and hand-painted faces. And then in the 1950s, which were these ones here, they came with sleep eyes that open and close. And they were more movable, and they were readily available for playing. So you see how the hands move, and the legs also. I think the legs were movable too. Yes, they are. See how movable they were? So this one was more of a playing doll in the 1950s. Let's see if I can get her to open her eyes. See her face. I think that is just cute. I mean, but you see that? And then the earlier dolls were, they call it frozen legs. They did not move. It was just frozen. There's no joint, movable joint there. And yeah, this is the way they look. And they've got like, it almost looks like it's looking downward. But I wanted to kind of show you the early dolls. These are the early 1940s down to the 1950s. And all the different dolls here. So let me just do a little span of all the dolls that I have in this collection. This one's adorable. This one is wearing like a bridal outfit. Isn't she gorgeous? Here is another one. She is gorgeous. This one is called, that one is a storybook doll. She's got her tag there. And usually when you flip the tag over, this one is called, what is it called? Beauty. I can't see that. But anyhow, she's gorgeous. See her hair? And the beautiful, beautiful rosettes. Rosette right on the top. And again, you can see, I'm just going to pull in all the dolls here. You can see all the different dolls and all the different hair colors and colors of this Nancy Ann Storybook dolls. So thanks again for tuning in with Barbie Rocks. Isn't she adorable? And she has her tag on, and that is a bonus to have the tag still on your dolls. And look at her beautiful felt bonnet hat. That's what I'm talking about. These Nancy Ann dolls are surely collectible. That one is called June Girl. This is number 192, and she's a month doll. She's a June doll. But look how beautiful the mohair is. Isn't that gorgeous with the eyes? And her gorgeous dress, the workmanship in the dress, and you see how everything is stitched and lined. You know what's a thrill? A thrill is when you go to an antique store and you can find a Nancy Ann doll there. That is a bonus and a treat and a delight, and I love when that happens. But anyhow, so I'm gonna do a slow motion for all my beautiful Barbie rockers. Thank you for subscribing to Barbie Rocks, and I'm gonna keep loving dolls and sharing it with all my subscribers. Okay, hope you had a great time with me, and happy fall to everybody. Love Barbie Rocks.